Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome to Not Everyone Is Here. In today's episode, we're going to be covering Final Fight, a Capcom series that you'd think would be not for Capcom. I mean, because there's Streets of Rage by Sega, but Capcom has Street Fighter, but Final Fight is Capcom's beat 'em, whatever. Anyways, we're going to be covering Final Fight, a classic beat 'em up series involving a couple of protagonists you may have heard, but one of the main three is, of course, Hager, there's Cody, and Guy. Funny enough, only two of those have been playable in a Street Fighter game, and yet not Hager. Hager only made a playable debut in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Isn't that sad? What, do they think they're gonna make him play like Zangief? Come on, you have a bunch of Ryus and Kens in Street Fighter 4. That was literally Shoto the game, but whatever. I'm not even gonna comment on that. So, Final Fight. Again, a really big beat 'em up series. Probably the last one I'll cover for a little bit, but it's just a major series, and there's not really much to go over as it's actually one of the few Capcom series that has yet to be represented. I would still say other series like Power Stone, Captain Commando, etc. should also get some love, but Final Fight is definitely up there. After all, it is connected to, well, Street Fighter, which is pretty good. Now what's funny is that Cody is a spirit in Smash. Obviously he's under Street Fighter Alpha, but it is kind of funny. So there is, well, a bit of Final Fight representation, but it's not the Cody we all know and love from Final Fight. I think it'd be amazing to have one of these characters be in Smash playable. I mentioned before in my Streets of Rage video that there was one beat 'em up character I especially wanted above all else, and well, no one left any guesses last time I checked, but who knows? The character I really want from any beat 'em up really is Mike Hagar. I love Mike. He's definitely one of my favorite characters and has always had a appeal to me when it came to playing Final Fight. I mean, yeah, Guy was cool and Cody was cool too, but there was something about Hagar, just something about how he's built is just so appealing to me in a weird way. His design is so unique, yet so recognizable at the same time, and yet so simple, but I love that about him. He's a simple character design that just works, and as a mayor himself, beating down on criminals is definitely something I wasn't expecting. I would really love to see Mike Hagar be playable in Smash, for me personally. Obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I just think it'd be great. Mike Hagar is such a cool looking character, and the fact that this is like one of the last few Capcom series that hasn't been repped yet, outside of, you know, just Cody under Street Fighter, I really hope we see something Final Fight related in the future. Be it spirits, me costumes, or, like I said, even potentially a fighter. I doubt that'll happen, and if it were to happen, it might just be Guy or Cody, but I really wanted to be Mike Hagar. Mike Hagar barely gets anything. Like, you don't see the guy that much. The only time he shows up in Street Fighter V is through the story character cutscenes, and they're only still images. We barely get anything from the guy. I mean, you see him from Lucia's perspective, Cody's perspective, but that's about it, really. I love the dude, but man, he really needs to get more attention. Who knows, maybe he'll be the final character for Capcom Season 5 of Street Fighter V. Nah, I doubt it, they'd never do it, but wouldn't it be funny if that was the case? Maybe that's just me, but I'd love to see Mike Hagar show up. Again, that's just me. Though, that's also because unlike other beat 'em up series, I actually do have a history with, well, Final Fight. It was one of the first, if not, I think the first beat 'em up game I've actually ever played, and in an arcade no less. There was an arcade place called Boomers, which it's kind of funny nowadays, but it was a huge arcade place, and there were a lot of games I discovered there that I fell in love with, one of which being Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's where I fell in love with that game. I loved Final Fight. There were definitely a lot of old styled arcade games you thought you'd never see, but I mean, I guess that's where the name comes from nowadays, huh? Well, regardless, I'd love to see anything Final Fight related. I think it deserves it, and considering that Capcom is, well, no stranger to letting Sakurai implement Capcom IPs in Smash in some way, be it spirits, Mii costumes, or even a fighter with, you know, Mega Man and Ryu and Ken, I definitely think it'd be nice to see some more representation on Capcom's end in that front. I'd love to see some Mike Hagar. That's just me. And hey, if it was to be a fighter, hypothetically, and if it was Guy and Cody, I'd be happy with them too. I just prefer Mike. That's just me. With that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please take care of yourselves, and as always, have an amazing rest of your day. Peace!
I'm coming through, partner, we can do this right. You're the fire, I'm the wind tonight. Burning dread, haha, that's right.